corrections, comments? Otherwise, all in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Derek, you have your hand up? No? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And that was Jacobson and Peterson.
Yes. All right, number 4, public appearance, comments, communication. 4A is Oregon Nature Alliance presentation of resolution number 2317, declaring May 2023 as Less Mow May. Tell us your name and your address. Good.
My name is Alyssa Rosner. I am at 735 Edenberry Lane here in the village.
And I'm Teresa Nelson, 245 Drumlin Circle.
Thanks for considering our Less Mow May resolution. As you heard last week, we are again asking the board to suspend the weed ordinance for the month of May to allow village residents to delay mowing their lawns in order to provide resources for early emerging pollinators. The change this year is that we're calling it Less Mow May instead of No Mow May. We had a lot of interest last year, which was great. It showed that we had many residents who wanted to do something, even something small, to help our pollinators. Since it was called No Mow May, many participants felt that they shouldn't mow their lawn at all, or they weren't truly participating. This left a lot of people with very long grass at the end of May, longer than their mowing equipment could really handle. Me too. So we're taking what we learned and promoting Less Mow May this year. Mowing just once or twice during May still allows flowers to bloom and provides benefits to pollinators in lawns that aren't treated with herbicides and pesticides. In addition to benefiting pollinators, reduced mowing frequency will save water, help lawns become more resilient to drought, and reduce emissions from gas-powered lawn equipment that often lack the emission reduction equipment found on larger engines. We'll be promoting Less Mow May at our Earth Day Pollinator Palooza event this Saturday from 10 to noon at Triangle Park. In addition, we will have more information on healthy lawn management and pollinator-friendly yards, and have information about pollinators as well as kids' activities. We'll also be giving away free early blooming native plants, because planting more native plants is the best thing we can do for pollinators. Thanks you again for considering our Less Mow May resolution. Do you have any questions?
Anybody? All right, we'll entertain a motion in a second. Derek, Jana, any other discussion? All in favor? Oh, wait, Derek?
Just for clarification from Jeff, the village parks and everything are still adhering to the recently.
Correct.
passed law.
Yep.
Just want to throw that out.
Thank you.
For anyone
Yep.
getting impression, just so they're aware.
Yep, absolutely. Good point.
Okay, anybody else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 4B is public comment. This part of the agenda allows members of the public to provide information to the board, including items both on and off the agenda. Anybody like to?
Ray.
Why don't you grab the wireless microphone right there?
So, Randy, we wanted to take this moment, being your last night as village president, to say thank you, and we have a legislative proclamation for you to memorialize all the work that you've done as village president and as trustee. And we'll have Mark read.
Randy, for everybody watching, I'm State Senator Mark Spreitzer. Glad to be able to join the village board meeting to recognize your service to the village, both on the board as well as a volunteer and community resident. This is a citation of commendation by the legislature. Whereas Randy Glish has served the village of Oregon with dedication and distinction since moving to the village in 2013, as a volunteer, as a village trustee from 2018 to 2021, and as village president from 2021 to 2023. And whereas Randy's exceptional drive, passion, and leadership have had a major impact on our community, from restoring the historic pump house and the Tin Man, to leading efforts to open the food pantry and youth center, to founding the Public Arts Committee. And whereas during his time on the village board, Randy has secured $4.2 million in funding for important projects in the village, including the new Oregon Library, public arts projects, and planting new trees throughout our community. and I should add, bringing Culvers to the community. And whereas in addition to his excellent work on the Oregon Village Board, Randy is also a Navy veteran, a retired state employee, a psychology instructor at Madison College, a certified master gardener, and an accomplished stained glass artist. And whereas Randy will be retiring from the Village Board in April 2023 in order to pursue new adventures and spend more time with his family. And whereas Randy Glish has dedicated his career to helping others, serving our community, and addressing local needs. Now, therefore, Representative Jenna Jacobson and Senator Mark Spreitzer, on behalf of the Wisconsin Legislature, do hereby commend and congratulate Randy Glish on his retirement and thank him for his exceptional contributions to the Village of Oregon. Dated the 17th day of April, 2023.
This has been it's been a good run for me. It's amazing. I get a little emotional about these things.
Yeah.
2 years has gone by really fast, and I have a lot of people to thank, fellow board members who I've been able to serve with, great village staff, my family, my partner Bill, who's always supported me. And I mean, I'm proud to call the village home, and you'll see me around. I certainly want to make sure that the art stuff takes off, and I may have a couple other things up my sleeve, so we'll see what happens. But thank you, and all the department heads that I've been able to work with, and all the donors and everything, so thank you. All right, anybody else from the public wanting to speak? Okay, seen anybody? I guess we'll go to 5, which is approval of vouchers. Looks like we have $1,024,088.07. If we can get a motion and a second, get it on the table. Amanda and Jenna. All right, anybody have questions? Vouchers. Okay. Seeing none. Andy?
Kilo,
Yes.
Wunsch,
Yes.
Peterson. Yes. Glish,
Yes.
Van Campen.
Yes.
And Jacobson. Yes.
All right, we'll go to number 6, consent agenda, my favorite. It looks like we have A and B on here. Take a motion in a second to approve the Derek. I saw Derek and Phil. Anybody have any questions on any of these? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're on 7 already, report of committees. Items are for discussion and possible action. 7A is the Plan Commission. A1 is ordinance number 2303, an ordinance adopting amendments to the Village of Oregon Comprehensive Plan, land use map for lots 2, 4, 8, and 9 of the Oregon Parks neighborhood duplex replat from 2-family residential to mixed residential, and Autumn Ridge phase 4, 4, and 5 from recreational business to planned neighborhood. I think we all saw these on last Thursday. So staff recommendation is to approve as presented. I'll take a motion in a second. Amanda and Derek, anybody have questions? Yeah.
Abstain.
Okay.
Abstain.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. A2 is conditional use permit and agreement with Odom LLC for group development in the general industrial zoning district for property located at 880 Market Street. Staff recommendation approve. Again, we saw this on Thursday. I'll take a motion in a second. Jenna and Derek, any questions and discussion? Yeah, Amanda.
Yeah, I just had a quick question about this. Does this business typically get semi-trucks in there, or are they just like straight trucks that have to get into those docks?
I don't believe there's any major semi-truck traffic. One thing to note here, we are still going back and forth with the fire department on a fire lane here, and they still have not approved the plan. So this will still kind of hang in limbo and not be signed until that is approved. But I assume if the fire truck can get back, then most of the trucks that access the building. But yeah, I think that's why the loading dock in the new building is kind of straight back, so it'll be a lot easier for them to access.
Yeah, being a former semi-truck driver myself, I was trying to figure out how they get back in there. They'd have to be on the street and back in from the street to straight back. I mean, it's doable. I'm just trying to, figure out if they expect them to come in and turn around because the parking lot doesn't look wide enough. So it's more a logistical question of how that is going to work.
Yeah, no, I think it's more box trucks coming and going.
That's fine. I'm not opposed to the conditional use permit on principle.
All right, anybody else? All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We're on to 3, request to vacate and discontinue a portion of Mary Hill Drive related to the Greenview Reserve subdivision. A is public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing if anybody's here to comment on this item. You can come forward. Not seeing anybody, so I'll close the public hearing, and then we can take 3B, which is resolution number 2304, a resolution to vacate and discontinue a portion of Mary Hill Drive. Again, we saw this on Thursday as well. Get a motion in a second, Amanda and Jenna. Okay. Any discussion on this by anybody? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And then 4 is certified survey map combining 2 parcels at 210 and 220 Janesville Street, submitted by Theta Properties. Staff recommendation is to approve as presented. Look for a motion. Again, we saw this on Thursday. Mike and Amanda. Okay. Any discussion on this one? Yeah.
Can I just get a visual? What 2 pieces are we combining here? It wasn't clear
Yep.
from the.
Yeah, there's the CSM, hard to tell in context, but it's the corner. It's was K&K Lawn and Sport for a long time, and is now C&K Rent All. Those are renters, but the Fields will be purchasing the property. I think June 1st is the closing. They are planning to do an addition, so we're kind of kitty corner from Little Buddies here, other side of the street. But yeah, planning to do an addition, so there'll be a GDP that'll come before you guys probably later in May to do an addition to the building kind of to the north there. And I believe last I heard there was some kind of floral shop they were looking to put in there, but something that would kind of fit into the central business, office, retail type use.
This is Little Buddies up here,
Yep.
and then this is the old former bike shop, Tin Man, and then this is that.
So those are the 2 lots?
Yeah, this
Yep.
one and this one.
Yeah, actually never really realized those were 2 different lots because it's always been used by the same folks. Probably an older, I'm guessing there was a home there that got knocked down at one point to the north, and then the other one. So yeah, combining the lots so that the building can expand and we won't be crossing property lines.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, 7B is the Ad hoc Public Art Committee. We have several things we put in your packet. Jeff's going to start us off with the locations map.
Right, thanks Randy. So, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, maybe even a little longer, Randy and I spent an afternoon and kind of drove around the village to look at potential sites for art installations. What we were looking for is public spaces that we could probably fit as small as a 2x2 or a 3-foot by 3-foot pedestal, that concrete pedestal for art. We also looked at one of the things that the art committee is looking into is wanting to wrap the traffic boxes, which are down here. You'll see these at every signalized intersection is about a 4x6 traffic box, and I know City of Madison has had some really nice luck with wrapping those with what is that? I don't.
It's vinyl.
It's a vinyl.
Yeah.
Okay. A vinyl wrap, and really kind of brighten everything. But you can see the locations we've chosen. Just to make one thing, I did miss one utility box, or one intersection box, and it was right here, but we have it included on this map. And Randy can talk a little bit about the art that's been selected, but this shows 26 or plus probably almost 30 locations by the time you add all the traffic boxes there. These are not all ones that'll be used right off the bat. The committee is reserving these as just potential now and future locations. And nothing's permanent with this, but yeah. Are there any questions on some of the locations we've chosen or that we identified and the committee has chosen?
Yeah, just one on location number 15.
Okay.
That's a fairly busy pedestrian crossing and a lot of stuff there already. And I mean, the piece of artwork that is on there seems like it would fit that location. Just how is that going to be configured, I guess? Is that pad going to be closer to the sidewalk side or the street side, and which direction is that piece of artwork going to be turned?
So, Jeff, why don't I,
Yeah.
Those are good questions, Derek. We haven't we wanted to make sure we got things approved tonight before. So we get things approved tonight, then we'll start looking at the locations. We haven't done any pedestals, anything like that, but we'll start looking at the details. If we get out there and we think it's going to be too tight, then we'll put it somewhere, some other approved location.
You can see there's a flower basket right behind there. We would likely remove that flower basket in lieu of the installation of the art at that location. I know that was kind of our thinking right there. We don't want to crowd it too much.
Okay. That was the only one I had.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those comments. Yeah, Amanda.
Yeah, and I like the locations you've chosen. I think they make a lot of sense. And I assume that when you place these, they're not going to be in positions where they would obstruct any traffic views or anything like that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna put one right in the drive lane on Janesville Street. And people just have to learn to get around it. That's, it will make sure it's a cast bronze, so it's.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let me just sort of give a little bit, maybe a little bit of background too. I mean, so we get this approved tonight. Jeff in Public Works has volunteered to help with the pedestals. So the ones that are coming, we're not going to do all 27 locations. We'll do the ones, hopefully, that we approve tonight that are going to come. Actually, they're slated to come at the end of May, so we want to get cracking on getting the pedestals made. So that's kind of the plan for that. And maybe we can look at this. I can just sort of explain this page here that Jeff has up. These, so these are the ones from Eau Claire that we got offered, and the committee took a long time, lots of discussion about which ones to pick. We tried to pick a variety of ones. So there's two of them on here. The top left, the blue circle one, and then there's one on the bottom called Old Generals. They were not part of the Eau Claire. These artists were offered to be part of the Eau Claire database, but they're local. They decided they just wanted to work with the village. So one of the things, so the top one is actually from Madison, and the Old General one, the one on the bottom, is actually from sculptors in Stoughton. So what that means is that we'll, upon approval from you guys, we'll just work with them, rent them. Actually, it'd be cheaper for us. We pay them $1,000 to rent it for a year, versus the ones from Eau Claire, it's $3,000. So those are included. And then the two on the bottom, the one you see is one of my creations. I made the stained glass panel. And then the one next to it is made by a local artist that I had commissioned several years ago that was just sitting in my garage. So I want to donate those to the village as part of the collection as well. Let's see. So what you see, and I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So five of all of them on this page are really local, from a local artist, which we like. We really like that we were able to get some local talent. And we try to be, you see the bears and the encore, and pick the right locations for those and try to make it kind of interesting. So we'll be asking for approval so we can get going on the pedestals. And then lastly, Jeff mentioned the traffic boxes, and you saw on all the designs that we asked the schools, we asked the art teachers for kids to send us designs, and so we approved all of these, and we'll see which ones. We probably have more designs than we need, but we thought that they were all, the bike one is actually pretty cool. That's a local artist.
Yeah.
To wrap them. Let's see.
Do not adjust your TV set.
Yeah, yeah. So we're asking to have approval of all of them. We thought they were all good, the committee thought they were all good. Yeah, Jenna.
2 things. One, I agree. I think these pieces are really beautiful, and I'm excited to see them around the village. But 2, and I apologize if this has been discussed before and I'm forgetting it, but are we going to have information about the art
Yes.
next to
Yes.
even
Yes.
the traffic light cover?
Yes, we can
Awesome.
have all, yeah, yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. I think I covered the box. So Martin says that we can approve everything as presented as one, and I have to take everything sort of separate. So with the 2 local ones, we have plenty of money to take $1,000 and give it to the 2 local, which I like the local folks. So we can, unless there's other questions, we can take a motion in a second. You wanna? Okay, Mike, all right. Any other questions? We're excited. I mean, I think this is gonna be, so what we're trying to do, I should also give you a quick update on the art fair. We just juried in 30 wonderful artists. So there will be 30 booths at the June 10th art fair right out here. The art cart from I think it's from the museum in Madison will be here for the kids. We'll have food. We have, I hadn't heard about, but the Rib Masters of Wisconsin, I guess they're really good. They're going to be here. Ziggy's is going to have a table. And then we just got the Lions Club who's going to provide rocks for that day. So a lot of work by the committee, but we're excited. So we wanted to do this these 2 things in conjunction. We'll have the map and everything for the sculpture tour and the art fair, and I think that June 10th is going to be a great day for the village. So, all right. So Jenna, you made a motion. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I just want to thank the committee. I think this is going to be incredible.
And we have a new website too. So, yeah. All right. So.
What's the website?
I knew somebody's going to ask me that. I think it's Oregon WI Artwalk.com, I think it is. It is, all right, good. So, all right, so you guys give us permission. We'll start tomorrow. We'll get cracking. So Jenna and I did we get a second?
Mike.
Mike, okay. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. We're excited. Yeah. Okay, we're on to unfinished business. We have none. New business, possible action. 9A is future agenda items. This item gives board members the opportunity to place items and new business on a future agenda for discussion. Anybody have any? Okay, let's see, anything? Mike, you, no?
Public comment?
Not yet, not quite. All right, 10 is report of village officers. 10A is village administrator's report that was in our packet. Anybody have any questions for Martin? He does a pretty good job of letting us know what he's up to. 10B is Chief of Police Report for March 2023. That was in our packet too. Chief, is there anything you want to share?
Sure. Let me just flip over to where I had it highlighted. Thanks. But just a few that I try to keep it short with the cases I highlight. But one of the ones that was interesting was on the 20th. We had a disturbance occur between a man and a woman over a dog defecating in a green space near an apartment complex, and the female armed herself with a knife, ultimately was arrested safely. And then our canine unit had some pretty good success in March as well. Archie assisted Wisconsin State Patrol with the OWI investigation in Stoughton, and they were able to find a pretty significant amount of meth and homemade pills that we believe are meth at this point. Another Archie case, Archie assisted McFarland PD with a canine sniff, alerted him. They were able to find illegal drugs and a firearm, and they were able to seize those. As far as calls for service, those are broken down. We tried to compare to last year just to give a reference point. One thing we continue to see is low numbers. I would expect when we're full staff to see 1,000 or higher each month, because right now we are responding to more two-officer calls, which takes officers off the road to run traffic, do self-initiated activities. So, I spoke with Martin briefly on I think our last one-on-one. My biggest concern in looking at these numbers is the domestics. In March from last year to March this year, we went from 3 to 9. I would say we're pretty consistently, without looking at the raw data in depth, pretty comfortable in saying we're ranging between 5 to 10 domestics a month. That is very high. I think the typical response is, well, mental health is an issue right now. But in looking at, there was another agency I looked at that's comparable to ours, Verona, a little higher population, so I expected to see similar numbers. They're averaging between 1 to 3 a month. So Oregon is unique, in my opinion, with domestics. Martin and I talked about this a little bit. I do think one of the contributing factors is, and I don't think a lot of agencies do this, we do a 30, 60, and 90-day check-in with any victim of a domestic violence incident. And just recently with a case, we found out that there was still violence going on in the home, and we came in again to help make things safe and made another arrest. So I think what's happening with those 30, 60, and 90-day check-ins, not all the time, but some of the time, we're establishing a good trust and a good rapport with these families, and they feel more comfortable in reporting future violence in the home. So I anticipate we will continue to see high numbers. Hopefully they will eventually trend down, but this does create a lot of work for us. Work we certainly are ready and capable to do, but it's a lot of work. So in 2023, again, for March, we had 9 domestics versus 22-3. We also saw a pretty good uptick in drug investigations. I would say that's been pretty steady as well this year, but just in March, in 2023, it was 7 versus in 2022, 3. And that, again, that's just for a month. And the same with disturbances, 11 to 8. So we're seeing more domestics and physical violence, which people have stopped and asked me, why are we hearing sirens so much more often? That would be why. It takes more than one officer to come in and handle those situations safely. So I'm happy to take any questions regarding the activity report.
Okay, Chief, thanks very much. Anybody else? Department head? Yeah, Jeff.
Comments? Yeah, just wanted to share that this has kind of been developing very quickly in the last week or so here, but we were recently contacted by a representative of the local Sierra Club, and this individual's primary focus is trying to get communities to plant trees. Of course, we've had a tree planting initiative. This individual organizes the events. We purchase the trees and all the materials, but they organize the events and all the volunteers. And right now we're scheduled for May 6th and May 13th. We'll be looking for volunteers, and there'll be a lot of information coming out, hopefully in the Observer as well as over e-Notify. We'll be purchasing up to 73 trees at a very reduced cost, thanks to Bruce Company and McKay Nursery. And we'll be planting those trees. This year, we'll be focusing on Gary Dish Park, Thompson Park, replacing some of the ones we had to take out of there, and High Meadows Park.
All right. Anybody else? Stand. Okay. We can go to 10D, Village Board comments. Jen, I know you want to start. You want to start us out?
I'm going to go first. Okay. Ready? Okay, so, today I am announcing a resignation from the Oregon Village Board. I was first elected in 2017 and have truly enjoyed my time on the Oregon Village Board and have been humbled by the support of my community. Being involved in your local government really gives you a perspective on the needs and challenges and successes of your community. It can be challenging work trying to balance the varying viewpoints, but it is important work. With the village preparing to go through the appointment process to replace Phil Van Kampen's trustee seat, it seems the right time to step back and allow 2 new people this opportunity. I hope many of you watching tonight consider applying. It is important to have new, fresh voices at the table. I will still be around and available to help with the state level issues that are affecting you in the village as your state representative, and I'm looking forward to representing you all in that role.
All right. Thank you, Jen. Mike?
Yeah, tonight's been the last night on the village board, and I wanted to issue a thank you to all the staff. Truly enjoyed working with each and every one of you over the last 2 years, and hoping you can say the same thing. I'd also like to congratulate Phil, Jason, Derek, and Carlene on the recent election to the village board. And I'd like to request that the open village board position, at least one of the 2, the village board appoint me to vacate the position, vacated by Phil. In my 1 term on the board, I was a consistent voice for progressive policies and fiscal restraint. I came to meetings prepared, and I carried out all my assigned responsibilities. But the main reason for appointing me to the board is to respect our democratic process. Immediately after the spring primary, I spoke with now trustee Jason Mankey. He had finished 4th in the primary. I told Jason that even if he finished 4th in the spring election, that I'd argue to appoint him to the village board. It's important for the village to listen to its citizens. The same thing holds with my 4th place finish in this election. Less than 2 weeks ago, in the spring election, the village chose Jason, Carlene, and Derek as trustees. I received 85% of the votes received by the winning candidates, several hundred votes ahead of the 5th place finisher. 1,616 citizens voted for me. Had all 4 positions been open that night on the ballot, tonight would not be my last night on the village board. Tomorrow night, the village board gets to make a choice between listening to the citizens of Oregon expressed in the recent election and deciding to override the voters' choice. In an age of gerrymandering and voter suppression, ignoring the clear choice of Oregon voters will just increase voter cynicism and apathy. In the United States in 2023, we desperately need to strengthen our democracy. It's important for the village to send a message to its residents that their votes count. I respectfully ask you to appoint me to the open trustee position.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Amanda.
I just wanted to say to Randy and Jenna and Mike that it's been a pleasure serving with you. I appreciate the job that you did, all 3 of you, and just it's been an honor, and good luck in your whatever the future holds for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay. All right, let's go to 11. Announcements, miscellaneous business. 11A is proclamation for Municipal Treasurer's Appreciation Week. And how about if last time we get to read one, and I'll read the first one, pass it on. pass that one. I'll read the first, well, part of it. Whereas the office of municipal treasurer is a time-honored and vital part of local government that impacts the day-to-day life of citizens throughout the state, and
Whereas the municipal treasurer provides the necessary financial information to governing bodies and agencies at the local, county, and state levels, and
Whereas the municipal treasurers administer the procedures and keep the financial records that allow governing bodies to carry out its public function efficiently and confidentially, and
Whereas all municipal treasurers are the official custodians responsible for proper management and investment of public funds, and
Whereas the 1,853 municipal treasurers and the 72 county treasurers work together to collect all property taxes for their own municipalities and counties, as well as their local schools, technical colleges, and the state, and
Whereas municipal treasurers continually strive to improve the administration and responsibilities of the office of municipal treasurer through participation in educational programs, seminars, workshops, and conferences across Wisconsin. And I will read the next one too. Whereas Governor Tony Evers signed a public proclamation on March 6, 2023, declaring April 16, 2022, April 16 through 2023 as Municipal Treasurers Appreciation Week throughout the state of Wisconsin, and commended this observance to all of the state's residents.
all right, now therefore, I, Randy Glish, President of the Village of Oregon, Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim April 16th through April 22nd, 2023 as Municipal Treasurers Appreciation Week, and further extend appreciation to our village treasurer, Lisa Slavinska, Deputy Treasurer Candy Jones, and to all municipal treasurers for the important work they do for communities throughout the state. Thank you. Lisa, Candy.
Thank you.
All right, it looks like we, 11B, let me finish up. Upcoming meetings and events, that was in our packet for you to put in your calendars. And then 12, we'll go into closed session business pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction, exercise responsibilities. Items are for discussion and possible action. So we'll take a motion and a second, and I'll have a voice vote. Derek and Amanda. Candy?
Glish,
Yes.
Wunsch,
yes.
Peterson,
yes.
Velo,
yes.
Van Campen is not here, Jacobson,
Yes.
Session,
Yes.